Hey everybody, welcome to How Did She Do That? It is raining here, but like I always say, rain is just confetti from the sky, so let's party. First of all, I am not perfect, but just like Jesus said, he loves us all the same. So we are going to be using chalk paint from Hobby Lobby. We are going to be using Modge Podge from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you can buy it at Hobby Lobby if you want. I got all of my signs from Dollar General and the napkins. This is my 2 signs that we are going to be working on today. And I don't know if you can tell, I pre-treated this one because there was like flowers at the bottom. And when you decoupage stuff, it is better to have a clean plate, I guess you would call it. These are some of the napkins. I got them from the birthday section. These were only $1. Then, also, I got all of these very inexpensive. But I always say shopping is cheaper than psychiatrist, right? So we are going to create some fun things. This is from Hobby Lobby, which was $5.99. And the great thing about it is they're 40% off. But now let's party and create. And don't worry if you get dirty. Jesus made us washable, and that means your hands and your heart, just in case you didn't know about that. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to prep this first. And all you simply do is you just take your chalk paint and you kind of cover it up. And what that is just called prepping. You know, you don't have to be perfect. Like I said, if you get dirty, don't worry. Jesus made you washable. And so we're going to just go ahead and get this done real quick. But my favorite thing to do is doing crafts. You know, I'm crafting. In crafting, you just got to realize that there are no mistakes, just unique creations. You know, kind of like us as people. None of us are perfect. And Jesus loves us all the same. He loves us and our imperfections. He says, come as you are. So, and honey, when I came, I bet he was like, uh-oh, I might need to change the rules on that one. But anyway, just nothing special. You don't have to make it perfect or anything like that. And I don't know about you guys, but of course I talk to myself, you know, when I'm crafting because I need expert advice. But, okay, so we are just going to move this to the side and we are going to let this dry. And before the end of the video, we are going to actually make us a laundry sign. I simply typed in farmhouse quotes and printed it off with my laser jet printer, and we will be making that sign in just a minute. So while that is getting dry, we are going to do something really fun, or I'm excited about it. It don't take much, honey, and my husband loves the fact that it doesn't take much to make me excited, because if it did, we'd be in trouble. But what I did, I actually purchased this roller. Well, should I say my best friend Jenny purchased this roller. And it was regular $15. And our favorite thing is we don't call it clearance shopping. We call it treasure hunting. But anywho, I have actually pre-cut Live Simply, because that is my motto in life. I'm not, you know, one of those women that have to have a bunch of stuff to keep her happy. Of course, my husband would probably argue with that, because, honey, I'm loving me some glitter. We call it glitter herpetitis. We own a Christmas tree farm, And my husband knows, starting about July, that we're going to start having glitter everywhere. But he's learned to love it. But I'm going to tell you, glitter shows up in the most inconvenient places, bless his heart. I'm sure his boss man thinks he's married to a hooker. But anywho, we just simply cut this out using our Cricut, and it says Live Simply. I am using red Oracle 651 permanent vinyl. And you cut it out, you peel out your excess, and then you will put it on your transfer paper. And you just have this ready to go. My favorite tool when using Oracle vinyl is this. It normally comes when you order it off Amazon, or you can find it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, whatever. So I have pre-cleaned this with alcohol. And what I'm going to do, it is nothing simple. I mean, it's nothing hard. And this is a trick for you ladies out there that is trying to put stuff on rounded edges. If you just cut your tape beforehand, and you can see these little cuts on it, it makes it so much easier to put it on your rounded areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply start in the middle, semi-start in the middle, and I'm just going to simply begin to lay it down. And as you can tell, the cuts that's in the transfer paper helps it lay down smoother, is what it's doing. Okay? So as you lay it down, you just put this down. And honey, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. I'm not perfect either, so. And honestly, if you mess up, the beauty of handmade lies in the imperfections, because things that are perfect are made by machines. And kind of like we are, you know, none of us are perfect. Although some people act like they are, they're not. Honey, like my granny said, you put on your britches on one leg at a time, and so does everybody else in the world. So what we're doing is just going to make sure that it's laid down smoothly. And then you basically are going to slowly pick this back up, and you're going to hopefully just take off the paper itself, the transfer paper. If for some reason it does start to come up, just take your handy dandy little tool and just do each letter like that. Because honey, some of these things are hateful. You know, hateful like people that they don't get their second cup of coffee, but you still got to deal with it. So we're just sitting here doing this right quick. Of course, ain't nothing quick in life. That's the problem, I think, with people in life. They're doing 90 with their hair on fire, and honey, they ain't got time to smell the roses because they went by them so fast they blew them off the stem. So what we're doing is basically just taking this apart, or putting it on, excuse me. Like I said, nothing perfect. A little bit about myself. I am a wife of 35 years. I have 2 children. One is 30. Well, she'll be 30 in April. And then my son is, he'll be 33 in October. And my husband and I have been married for 34 years. I've taught school most of my life. I was an instructional assistant, which is a fancy word for a teacher's aide. And the lady that I taught with, we had tried to get together to teach for years and years. And the year that we actually were assigned each other permanently, my mom drowned tragically when she was 43. And it was Easter weekend. So, you know, life is hard, and you just got to find something that makes you happy. But as a mother, I dedicated myself to my children, and they grew up, and they're both healthy, and they're both happy. Of course, on most days they're happy. Not everybody can't be happy all the time. But, you know, Jesus can put a new song down in your heart. Even when it's raining outside, you can have a confetti party by yourself in the middle of the kitchen. But anywho, so I am a proud grandmother of 2 grandsons. One of my grandsons is 3.5 years old, and then I just have a brand new grandson, and he is actually a week old today. So yeah. And then my husband and I, we decided to plant a Christmas tree farm. You know, like we didn't have nothing to do, so we thought, why not? Go ahead and plant a few hundred trees and give yourself something to do on the downtime. But that's what my life is about, and I teach Sunday school, and I'm very actively involved in church. So, as you can tell, the Live Simply is now on our rolling pin. And so what we're going to do now stay with me, y'all. This gets real complicated. Just kidding, honey. I'm not complicated. So here we go. You're just going to squirt your Modge Podge on, or however you say it, tomato, potato, whichever way you say it. So what we're going to do is we are simply going to take our Modge Podge and just dab it on. The good thing about Modge Podge, it comes in matte, it comes in clear, it comes in glitter, you know, it comes in all kinds of finish. Honey, did you even know that they got even dishwasher safe Modge Podge? Girl, the possibilities. Of course, you know, my husband knows I'll give anything a try once, so I'm sure he's scared to know what I'm going to Modge Podge next. But all you do is kind of dab it. And the reason why I'm dabbing and not wiping, because this roller is kind of like, it's soft. It's not like your typical hardened roller. And so I'm sitting here dabbing it just to make certain that I don't pick the letters up. As you can tell, the letter V went up. And it looks like it's going to be hateful. Honey, I got the man model today, but it's all right. So this is what I'm putting on it. Like I said, you can use any Modge Podge, and we'll see if that works. Of course, you know, if it don't work, that'll be all right. Just have to go back and do it again. So we're going to put this to the side along with our other white sign, and we're going to let it dry. So here we go. We're just going to put that to the side. This is my project that I'm working on now. I went to a thrift store, and I found this adorable fabric. So this is what I've got. But as you can tell, I'm going to have to, these are drying. They have to dry between 24 to 36 hours because it needs to get way down in the fabric. And I live in the South, and honey, let me tell you, our weather is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But so it's raining, like I said, today. And, you know, yesterday was 70. But who knows? Life's an adventure. It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. So I'm going to let these dry a little bit more because I know you can't tell in the video, but it's still kind of tacky. So I'm going to let these dry probably another day. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the excess on those as well. So that's something. This is the other sign that I have, and like I said, it was from Dollar General. You can see the little clearance rack thing. And honey, I'm like Minnie Pearl, me and my best friend. We keep the price tag on everything. I don't know why, because it ain't like we ever gonna take it back. But you know, just in case after I die, my family needs extra cash, they can just go ahead and take everything back. Of course, you know. You know us women, not that we would ever lie, but we do embellish things sometimes. Hope my husband don't go back and ask for the money that I told him it cost. Because Lord help us all. But you know, I'll be gone by then. But anyway, so the first thing you got to do is you got to separate your layers on your napkins. And just be patient. You know, anything worth waiting for or worth working for is worth having. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate these layers right quick, okay? And we're just going to take these apart. And if you tear it, honey, don't feel bad about it. No worries. No worries. So we're going to just take all these apart right quick. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to actually use something that I'm sure everybody's got hanging out at their house. And it is, you got it, Elmer's glue, the disappearing kind. Of course, I know if you hadn't ever been in a classroom or you're just a parent and you want to know why the teachers have to have 164 things of glue, well, let me tell you, this has got multi-purposes. When it comes to children, they can get so creative. They don't just use it for glue. You know, they use it for everything else. And we say one dab of glue, that'll do, or one dot, not a lot. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this glue real quickly on this hello sign. And so I'm doing that right quick. Let's see here. All right. So, now, there's something that you got to know about this. It ain't always going to be perfect, and it's okay. Now, me, I'm a very OCD person, or like I like to say, CDO, you know, put it in order. But anyway, so I am taking this and just very lightly trying to get the wrinkles out. And like I said, if there are some wrinkles in it, it'll be all right. I don't really care. I'm just not one of those people that obsess over everything being perfect. Because, you know, in life, we all got enough stress to be perfect. Got to have perfect hair. Got to have the perfect body, perfect car, perfect family. And to me, crafting is a perfect place to let your imperfections out and relax a little bit. You know, chill a little bit. So, as you can readily tell, this napkin did not go all the way to the end. So, I'm going to let y'all look at that for a second. Sorry, y'all, I had to feed the little Chiweenie. Honey, I don't know if they're the pets or we're the pets and we're being trained. I think we live in a matrix. We think that we're in charge of them, but I really think they're in charge of us. But anyway, so what we're going to do now is we are actually going to put more glue on here, and we are going to piece it together. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to cut me a little square off this napkin. Hope y'all can see me. If you can't, I'm sorry. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put this glue on this letter H. Because, like I said, it didn't cover the whole thing. And that's okay. So we're going to do that right quick. And, whoopsie. Now, let's see. So what I'm going to do is just, well, Lord help them. Lord help y'all. Okay. Now remember, don't stress out. You just got to make sure you cover your letter a little bit. So what I'm doing is kind of, well, I'm trying to. You know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Kind of like when you're doing everything else in your life. You ain't ever going to be perfect, honey. I'm going to tell you right now, there wasn't nobody that walked the earth that was perfect but Jesus. So the key is just to make sure it's all pressed down really, really well, okay? So we're going to go ahead and make sure, just follow the lines, follow the ups and the downs of it. And the reason why you're doing this is because, honey, we're fixing to set this thing on fire. Yep. But remember, stop, drop, and roll. Worst case scenario, run to the sink, turn it on, hope it gets it all out before your husband knows what you did. And before the smoke alarm goes off. Of course, you know when you're young and the smoke alarm goes off, that's when dinner's done. But nobody's here but me and my little doggy Simba. He's a 13-year-old Chiweenie. And honey, let me tell you, he runs my life. My adult children, I think they're a little jealous of him because they said I let him do everything. But anyway, so what we're going to do next, guys, is we are going to cut off all the excess that we possibly can get. And if you can't get it all off, don't sweat it. Because when we set this thing on fire, you're going to be like, oh, Lord. But it's so much fun. You know, this is the first time you can set something on fire and not get in trouble for it. Because I don't know about y'all, but I've had some uh-ohs in my life as far as, you know, when you try to do something. And, you know, I don't know if y'all are like me, but in my mind, it just works out perfectly and everything's so pretty. And then it happens and I'm like, That my little split personality, she thought she could fly like Whitney Houston, but you can't. But hey, you can always jump off a cliff and believe. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off as best as we can, getting it to the edge. And don't worry if it doesn't go all the way to the edge. Just try to get as much off as you can. Like there. So we're going to do that. I know this is a slow process, and I know that there's all these people that know how to edit and do this and do that. Like I said, this is my first video, and you don't know if you're going to succeed at something till you try it, so I'm going to try it. Why not? Why not try it? Everybody else tried it. I mean, you got to have a dream. All these people that are millionaires, they had a dream, and they dreamed of it and started it and gave it a shot. Not that I want to do this for a living, because my passion is making wreaths. That's one of my biggest passions. We have 2 Christmas shops at our little tree farm, or our little slice of heaven, as me and my husband call it. And I make bow toppers and, you know, wreaths and all that good fun stuff. And so we just did that. Live in a simple farmhouse. We got 180 acres. That belongs to my in-laws, but they graciously gave us a little slice of their heaven. We call it the third cow pasture on the left, but hey, it works for us. But anyway, so we're going to take all this and, you know, do it like this. But I'd love to know what is some of y'all's passions. You know, what makes you happy? What in life gives you joy? Because, you know, sometimes you just have to find the simple things. One of my favorite sayings is live simply. Because, you know, everybody's in the rat race trying to get this and trying to get that. And sometimes you just need to slow down and enjoy life is what I think. I think sometimes as people in this great big old world and what we've just all survived with the pandemic, and whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever you are, you know, you might not be happy with the government. But I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter who's in the White House. God is still on the throne. So what I'm going to do is, I already see a boo-boo happening. So I am going to kind of take this and glue it down more. And the reason why I'm gluing this down more is because when you set this thing on fire, if you don't have it glued down really, really good, it will actually get under your napkin and it will discolor what you are working on. So that's why I was saying just kind of go around your edges and make sure that they are glued down. And like I said previously, the reason why you're doing this is so that you don't risk your that you don't risk your material being burned or discolored. So let me go get some paper so that y'all won't have to see me stop, drop, and roll. And then we're going to light it up. Okay, got my paper. Yes, I know y'all jealous of my fine Tupperware. It's what you call recycled doggy stuff, doggy treats, whatever. So we are going to go ahead and clean this up, or slide it over, shall I say. And the reason why I got this is just so that you can pat, pat, pat. Now, I know that some of y'all are like, oh, okay, we'll just light this thing up and we'll go. You need to start in small sections. Don't just start a fire in a lot of different spots, because you just need to basically, like we say in the country, honey, you got to have a controlled burn. You don't want the bear coming out on you and reporting you for starting a forest fire in your own house. So you take this, wish me luck, and say a prayer. Here we go, girls. So you just take this and you're just going to set it on fire. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but it actually just burns all the way around the edges. And it is actually just following the letters. And then it went out. So you just start over again. Just light it up again. And hopefully you ladies or gentlemen don't want to offend nobody, you know, because America's the land of the offended, not the land of the brave anymore. All right. Well, honey, this thing's just being hateful today, ain't it? Let me start over here. Give it a little bit more to work with. And everybody does this differently. And see, it just follows. It just follows it. It's just amazing to me, the simple things in life, honey. I told my husband last night, I said, baby, I said, tomorrow I'm gonna set that on fire and put Deco Posh. He said, you gonna do what? But you know, my husband, bless his heart, it's just got where he ain't surprised. He just told me, I hope everything works out today. Him not knowing whether the house was gonna be here when he got back, but hey, he was supportive. So we're gonna set this on fire a little bit more. And it's just slowly burning. Now, you need to have a well-ventilated area, unless you have a mask. If you're doing it with your children, you can do it outside on the picnic table if you wanted to, or, you know, whatever. If you ain't got no picnic table, get you a pallet and set it up. So it's just basically going around the edges of this word. Honey, I just think that's the coolest thing since homemade french fries. I'm here to tell you. So just go ahead and do that. And set it on fire a little bit more. And like I said, I apologize for y'all having to sit here and watch this tedious stuff. But I don't know how to do all that stuff fancy. But who knows, I might teach myself. You know, like they say, never stop learning till the day you die. Or like my granny would say, live, learn, die, and forget it all, honey. All right, so as you can tell, it is all ready to go. And you're saying, well, what about the middle? Hold on, honey. I know the Oreo, the middle is my favorite part too. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of cut it like this. And then I'm going to stick my lighter down in there. And set it back on fire. And see what this thing does. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Just remember, stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and we are going to take the lighter again. And, you know, I don't know whether to start from the top or the middle because I don't want to burn I don't want to burn. Well, look at there. Good for us. We did so good. Okay, oh yeah. We are on it. I would like to say I'm a craftaholic on the way to recovery, but we both know that's not true. Honey, I already got my trip planned for tomorrow. And for those of you that feel bad about their craft stuff, you know, being in the kitchen and on the table and in the living room, don't feel bad. All my creative geniuses are in, I call it a she shed. Oh, girl, I haven't got a little high for comfort, didn't it? But, so, don't worry about it. And you know those people that see an empty cheese box and everybody else sees it as an empty cheese box, but you see it as a snowman with a scarf? Kudos to you. Because, you know, without our dreams, we would just die. Okay, so I think this one right here, I'm going to burn this just a little bit more. Uh-oh. Let's see. Ooh, girl. Trying to be real careful not to set that H on fire. Okay. All right. So now you have this beautiful, handmade, custom-made with all your oops and boopses just by you. Now, as you can readily tell, there's some stuff that still needs to be burned. I have a little sanding block. What I'm going to do is I'll probably hit it with a sanding block later today just to kind of get the edges off a little bit. And I am actually going to be making a custom-made wreath with this later today. And so excited about that. Okay, so we have our custom-made little sign that says hello. So it went from plain white to hello in just an instant. Now, what you're going to do, you can go ahead and, kind of rub that off if you want to. And some people might decoupage this, and some people won't. But the thing about it is, I am giving this to a little girl to go in her room, and I want to make sure that it can withstand a child. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to decoupage this just to make sure. Now, just be patient with me. I got to take this lighter. Lord help, honey, I must have got the man model of the lighter. This thing only is hitting every so often. Let's see, there we go. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, so, complicated part again. Aren't y'all proud of us not having to use this expensive little setup that we have? If you're wondering where I got my brushes, I am a Dollar Tree craftaholic. So I went and got like the 10-pack, I think it was, for $1. And in case you hadn't heard, just like the gas, it's went up to for $1.25. I know, but some things is worth paying extra. Sometimes you got to go home or go big, right? Or go big or go home. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of dabbing this on as well. And as you can tell, the thing about it is it looks really wet. But the great thing about Modge Podge, it will dry clear. So if you have a boo-boo and you're like, oh my Lord, what just happened? Don't worry, it's all right. Remain calm at all times. That's what I tell my grandson, bless his little heart. He's doing so well with his little potty training. Okay, so we got this right quick, and we are going to let this dry. And I'm going to probably, since it's raining and humidity, I'm not going to touch it probably till tomorrow. But if I get really impatient, I'll plug up the hairdryer and go with it. So, there is that. I'm just going to let it dry, like I said. And then later, I will be putting it on a wreath in the center of the wreath. All right. And here we go. This lives simply. As you can tell, it's sealed itself, which is awesome. I just love it. And then I'm going to put, I've got this little ribbon, and it's got chickens and cows and horses. No, chickens, cows, and pigs, I think it is. Lord help, I don't even know my animals, and I live on a farm. Ooh, hope nobody's out there judging, because they say judge not lest you be judged. So to finish this, I'm just going to go ahead and put my ribbon on it later today, but I didn't want to bore y'all with that. So here's the next thing we're going to do. We are going to go back to Project 1, which is our laundry sign. Now, this right here, it came with it, but what I'm going to do more than likely is take this off, and I'm going to put a tab from like a Dr. Pepper or something. If my husband heard me say that, I could just imagine what he's going to say. He says I'm an alcoholic with Dr. Pepper, but I just don't think 3 a day is bad. It's kind of like vegetables. Can't have enough. So, let me get me something to drink. I apologize. So, here we go. All right. We are going to go ahead and put, we're going to go ahead and spread this out a little bit. There we go. With Modge Podge, it's very forgiving. You don't have to be perfect. And honey, I sure am glad about that. Because, like that little children's song, he's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. So, now you're just going to take this, and I pre-traced the design so it would kind of line up on the sign, and hopefully it will. And like I said, I basically just looked up farmhouse print signs, and we're just going to let that dry, or press it down for a few minutes. Now, there is excess on this. You can trim it off later. I wouldn't recommend trimming it now because it is movable right now. So, gotta wait a little bit, girls. So, what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and hold on to this fancy tab that it had on from the Dollar General. And we're going to just smooth it. A lot of people, they all have their own methods, their own way of madness. There ain't nothing right or wrong. Because just because it works for me one way doesn't mean that's the way your brain works. My best friend, she's left-handed. And Lord help, honey, trying to teach her how to do certain crafts is so funny. She really struggles. And she told me the other day, she said, now when you going to buy me a pair of left-handed scissors? And I'm sorry, I didn't know I was discriminating, but apparently I am. I need to work on that. You know, the Bible says love all of us. With farmhouse stuff, you don't have to be perfect. To me, that adds to the charm. But just basically just kind of smoothing it out. And there's a little bubble. But, and there ain't nothing to it. And I'm going to let this dry overnight too. So, there we go. And more than likely, I will do a little twine. But this is for a friend to hang on her cabinet, off of her cabinet in her laundry room. So, there's that. And then, here is your hello sign. And y'all, this is easy. If I can do it, you can do it. I mean, seriously. And like, don't be intimidated. If it messes up, so what? It messed up. It's okay. Like I said, beauty of handmade lies in the imperfections. Anything perfect is machine made. We're not perfect. Don't try to be perfect. So those are some of the things that I have been working on the last few days. This is another thing that I have been working on. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let's see here. This is just a silver charger from Dollar General. And I just basically put some white chalk paint. And then I put my napkin on it. Cut out my Live Simply. And then made me a messy bow. The other things that I'm currently working on is our little chicken thing, and it's got a little chicken inside of it, and I just threw together a bow and put eggs in it and put a little straw. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed it. Again, it was my first video, so I hope that you are very forgiving, and this is me. I hope every one of you has a great day. And remember, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. God bless you. Have a great day and happy crafting.